A week or so had passed since Rooke finally got himself together. He had taken tentative steps towards some sort of normality. Every day he'd go shunting and take a small consignment of goods to Stowborough. His confidence grew, helped by the encouragement from Ben and Stan, who were determined to keep Rooke out of the shed this time. Whilst the branch was heading back to some sort of normality, the engines on the main line at Alfredson's shed were deep in discussion on a topic that had hardly been out of their smoke boxes in the last 9 months. I'm telling you, they must have worked really quickly on her. I saw a lot of other Saints and other engines waiting outside for scrapping, but she was nowhere to be seen.
I'm not sure I wanted to know that.
I'm telling you, Alfred, she was taken away to be experimented on. It all makes sense.
No, Pi. Why would they do experiments on a 50-year-old Loco?
Because she's old and decrepit and they can get away with it.
Pilot, she's not gone anywhere like that.
No. She was sent for scrap. She went into that building and never came out again. Finally, Swindon did something right.
You say another word, Falkland, and I'll...
You'll what? You'll fail before you do whatever it is you want to do.
Take that back.
No, I don't think I will.
Take back what you said about Bride. I don't care what your opinions are on me, but respect your elders.
Why? She's dead now. Nothing left to respect. Besides, the branch finally has a Loco from a proper railway now, even if it is Stan.
Why, you insensitive little... What is going on out here? Robert Stavell stood in the middle of the roundhouse, visibly angry and staring at all the Locos.
Alfred threatened to hurt me, Mr. Stavell.
You started it.
I did not. It was unprovoked.
Robert, don't listen to these lies. Falkland here was bad-mouthing our dearly missed bride.
Just get back to work. What? Are you not going to tell him off? No one likes a telltale, Alfred. What the shit? Robert turned on his heel and walked off again, leaving the Locos in a stunned silence. Just before he walked into his office, he turned and directed a comment at Falkland. You can tell your colleagues at New Harlech that the Midland region are sending another engine to replace Stan whilst he's on his extended loan on the branch.
Oh, good. The more the merrier, sir.
With that, Robert slammed the door behind him and left the engines again, in an uncomfortable silence. Falkland couldn't help but smirk at the others. North Star and Alfred left not long after, visibly upset. This left Falkland and Pilot together.
Must be nice having management on your side.
I don't know what you mean, Pilot.
Don't play dumb with me. I can smell a conspiracy a mile off and you fucking reek of it. I don't wear this hat for nothing, you know.
Pilot left the Jubilee to stew in his own thoughts. It was well known that Robert had taken over at New Harlech in the last year, if only to allow myself to focus on the branch work, which was almost hitting its peak as summer grew increasingly closer. I managed to gather most of the engines together at Stowmouth one evening to explain the news properly. So, the first of our summer excursions arrives on the island this week. It's coming from Bournemouth and will stop at Radford Junction for a Loco Change. Stan, I'd like you to take over from the mainland Loco and bring the train down to Stowmouth Marine Station. Of course, sir.
Does this mean I might get to see a southern design on the island? It would be nice since they closed up the Portston Tunnel.
Unfortunately for you, no. This train is coming via the S&D and Bath Green Park, so I believe it'll be in the hands of a Midland design. Supposedly, this Loco will be taking Stan's place at New Harlech. Oh great, another supremacist to contend with. I'm sure you'll be more than a match for him. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Oh, talking of sure. Yes. Come on, cheer up, I've got some work for you. Don't you want to give it to Stan too? Sure. Yes. No. Stop. Bad. I'm trying to help you, Shaw. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. It's a very important job too.
A very important job? For him? Yes, Ben. An important job for sure. Have you anything to say on the matter? Oh, there are several things I'd like to say. Ben, not now, mate. Thank you, Stan. I'll forget that outburst, Ben.
The luggage train for the passengers on this particular service is being sent up ahead of the main train, and I'd like you to bring that train along the branch. Oh, okay, sir. I'd like that. Excellent. I'd like you to be clean for this job. Even though there aren't any passengers present, I'd like you to be presentable for the Samarinian line staff. Thank you, sir. Amazing. Let's begin this summer the way we want it to continue. I trust you will all do your best. I left the engines with this news and went home to rev the wife. How about that, Shaw? Some really positive stuff from Lord Savell and some important work for you. Don't pretend, Stan. I know you hate me. The best you can do is be truthful to me. I don't hate you, Shaw. Stop pretending to like me!
I stopped that weeks ago. Ben, that wasn't helpful. I don't care. It's the truth. You just asked for the truth. Glad you aired your opinion, Ben. Unlike Stan, who seems incapable to even do that.
Oi, sure, come on, you need to calm down. Calm down. You can shove off too, Rooke. I did all I could to help you, and you double-crossed me. No, I didn't. I got better. Wasn't that your goal for the entire time? Shut up. Shaw left the shed in a mood and collected his goods train.
Can we let that be the end of the hostility now?
I don't understand.
Rooke, you're my oldest friend. I look up to you a lot. So take this from me. Shaw isn't good for you.
I'm staying well out of this. God, it's awkward. Rooke, you need to understand what he was doing to you. Yes, and he was helping me, wasn't he? Oh, Rooke, did you not hear him then? He couldn't even tell you what he was doing it for. He couldn't even say that he'd done what he did to help you get better. Oh, you don't believe it. He just didn't want to say it in front of you guys. You're pressuring him. Oh, for God's sake, man! Ben blasted off to the carriage sidings, and thus the conversation ended rather abruptly. Later that week, at Bath Green Park Sheds, a Midland loco was waiting to take over a train for the journey to New Wessex. Well, David, it's been a good few years, hasn't it?
Of course, Arthur. I've enjoyed my time down here in the south. We've had some good times.
You sound just like Stan when he left here.
Stan? 45440?
Oh, yes. He was based here for a while before you arrived. He too went off to New Wessex. Part of the Midland region's plans for extended South Wales traffic to and from Manchester, you know. If you see him, say Arthur sends his regards. We all do.
Of course I will, Arthur. Man, it'll be good to see him again. We haven't seen each other since before the war.
He did mention his life pre-war a couple of times. I'm not sure he was very happy.
No, he wasn't. But hopefully he's still as happy as he was back then. I can't wait to see him again.
The special train passed the shed complex, hauled by another 7F. All right, you better go, young David. You know how 53802 gets when you're late.
Only too well, Arthur. I hope this isn't goodbye. You've been a good friend these past few years.
Away with you. Go have some new adventures. Dave left Arthur in the shed and backed onto the train. 53802 scuttled away to the sheds with a cursory goodbye to Dave. Dave started the heavy train with a blast of his exhaust, and soon he was well on his way. Back on the island, at New Harlech Sheds, Falkland was boasting to the other two.
So I managed to say all that and got away with it. If anything, Robert told Alfred off more than me.
You were only speaking the truth. She really was past it.
Glorious technological advances cannot be made if locals like her are still used. Makes us look like a museum instead of a highly modern railway.
Might get my brother to come down and replace you then.
Don't be vulgar, Frank. I am irreplaceable.
Well, actually, aren't there a few British railway standard designs being built to modernise the fleet?
Hold your wish, you idiot.
Aww.
They wouldn't dare send those newfangled contraptions down here. Far too rural for all that nonsense.
I'm a newfangled contraption though, aren't I, Seaforth?
Well, of course, but you're our newfangled contraption, so it's okay, you see.
Oh, talking of that conversation, Robert also said that we'd be getting Stan's new replacement this week. There's a special going to Stomouth from Bournemouth, and the Loco is coming on that.
Oh, finally. That means Robert can stop threatening me with goods work.
He's not got you to pull a single goods train in the entire time since Stan left.
My poor soul wasn't ready for such ideas.
Good job I've got a stronger soul than you, isn't it then?
Don't play funny with me.
Do your flaps make you exempt from working goods trains?
They're not flaps! Falkland and Frank laughed heartily as Seaforth seethed. You've been spending too much time down at Alfredston. That oversized county's turn of phrase is beginning to rub off on you.
As if I'd allow myself to stoop to such lows.
It's funny though.
The two engines broke out into fits of laughter, again, while Seaforth grew angrier. Alright you two, laugh it up. Just wait till this new engine arrives. I bet they'll agree with me. My smoke deflectors are signs of great importance and I won't tolerate this disrespect.
Oh, sorry, Seaforth. We were only having a bit of friendly banter.
Well, don't. It's below you.
Flaps.
That's it!
Au revoir.
Down at Radford Junction, Shaw had just dumped his train in the goods yard and was filling up on coal and water, and staring down Wyvern, who was sat in the shed cackling at Shaw every once in a while.
Why don't you come and join me in the shed, young Shaw? I promise the turntable will behave itself this time.
If you think I'm coming in there and falling for that again, you've got another thing coming.
But I have all the time in the world to stroke your ego and tell you how brilliant you are. Isn't that what you want?
What?
Oh, yes, young man. I know your game. I've seen it before.
Alright, Grandad. You keep away from me, you hear?
I'm watching you, Shaw. Any funny business, and I might forget to be nice.
You're not exactly friendly now.
I don't know what you're on about.
You know perfectly what I'm on about.
What? Who are you? Get out of my shed. William! There's a weird black tank engine watching me again.
What the... Shaw was saved by the arrival of Hercules with the luggage train. Shaw went to relieve him. Hello, Shaw. What a marvellous day for it. Yes, Hercules. It's definitely a nice one. You don't sound so convinced. What's the matter? I wish the engines would just tell me they don't like me. All of them are barefaced liars. Other than Ben, at least he can admit it. They don't hate you, Shaw. Even Ben, however much he says it. They care deeply about you. All of them. They have a funny way of showing it. They've stopped me from helping Rooke and... Sure, I know you're going to find it very difficult to come to terms with what you were actually doing to Rooke. And I know you had your reasons, but not you as well, Hercules. I thought you'd be on my side, but no. I'm on no one's side, Shaw. There's no side to be on. You know as well as I do why you were doing what you did. It's okay to be scared, but you have to talk to someone about it. Don't bottle it. I'm not scared, I'm angry. I'm angry, Hercules. I'd wager you're both, my dear, and that's an unhealthy combination. You're suffering as a result. They may not hate you now, but you continue down this path and very soon you'll have pushed away everyone who wanted to help you. I've told you this before, but again, I am always here to listen. Anything you say to me will be kept in the strictest of confidence. I'm not ready to have this conversation, Hercules. Well, when you are, please come and speak to me. I'll be ready to listen. Now, away with you. Get down to the docks and prove your worth to Lord Stavel. Remember, you're a team down there. Shaw bustled away with his train, feeling good to be hauling something that wasn't goods wagons. He felt important as he traversed the line, his livery glinting in the sun. He knew Hercules was right, but he was ashamed of his actions, and he wasn't ready to face them, not just yet. He tried to forget about it for a little while, and even smiled at Stan as they passed at Stowborough, confusing the Black Five immensely. When he arrived at Stowmouth Marine, he dropped the train at the platform and went back to the shed for water. He watched Rooke shunting, and a sudden wave of emotion hit him. He allowed himself to shed a few tears before composing himself again as Ben came into view down the line. Sure? Are you alright? You don't look too good. Me? Never been better. Happy to be here. Huh. Okay, mate. Ben, who was still suspicious of Shaw, didn't believe a word he said, and continued to mull over what he'd seen, even after he departed for Alfriston again. Meanwhile, at Radford Junction, Stan had arrived and was deep in conversation with Hercules. So it was just as we assumed it would be. Indeed it is, and I do believe I'm getting through to him. He almost acknowledged the issues, but he said he wasn't ready to have the conversation. He just needs a little more time, my dear. Well, he smiled at me earlier on his way down, so you definitely must have said something good.
So this is where you've been hiding all these years, Stan.
Huh? What?
Come now, Stan. Don't say you've forgotten your brother already.
Dave rolled into Radford Junction with his excursion train, surprising them all. Blimey! I must have lost track of the time. I better go, Hercules. I'll catch up with you again soon. Toodaloo, Stania. Stan rolled up beside Dave, who grinned broadly. Dave!
Stan! How long has it been now?
Way too long, big brother. Way too long.
Didn't take you for a branch line engine.
Oh, you'll find I'm full of surprises.
Indeed you are. Oh, Arthur sent his regards, by the way.
Arthur? The 7F at Bath?
Do you know anyone else called Arthur?
No, of course. I was just a bit surprised that you'd know him.
I've been based at Bath for a couple of years now.
You must have been my replacement when I left Bath for here then.
I'm making a habit of that then, considering I'm up here to replace you at the shed down the line. New Hampstead or whatever it's called?
New Harlech.
Yeah, that one.
Just then, Alfred arrived with the wyvern.
Blimey, you're fucking huge!
Wait till you see my snifting valves. Alfred, this is my big brother Dave. Dave, this is Alfriston Cathedral. Alfred for short.
Must be the only thing about him that's short. Holy fuck!
Your brother's funny, Stan. Aw, Dave, you've made a friend already.
Fuck off, Stan!
Just to add to the Loco meetup, Falkland arrived with the northbound Midland train.
Oh, look! Another one of us to replace that clapped out...
You finish that sentence and I'll run you over.
Oh shit.
Temper, temper! 45101, you don't want to be mixing with that lot. Come to New Harlech and hang out with the good guys.
Oh god.
Yeah, don't even go there. They're morons.
Do I have to share a shed with him?
Unfortunately so. If you feel like it's too much, there's always here. Max and I have settled in rather well, and you can run your services from here if you want. I'd get out whilst you can, Dave. It's toxic up there.
I heard that. You wait. We'll take over this island one day.
Blah, blah, whatever. Don't listen to him. He's jealous because he has no flaps.
Flaps?
I'll explain another time. You need to get off the train and get serviced.
Oh yeah, that would help, wouldn't it?
Just a bit, yeah. As Dave uncoupled, Frank and Alfred departed the mainline platforms. Alfred promised to see them soon, maybe even later that evening. Stan then coupled to the train and blasted off up the hill out of Retford. Dave watched, and then reversed into the shed where Wyvern and Hercules were waiting.
Staniel, you've changed your livery. And your number. Are you going into hiding?
What the fuck?
Staniel! Your voice!
What?
Pay no attention to our resident loony over there. He has his moments of lucidity within all the madness.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore him for now.
I assume you're Stan's replacement up at New Harlech.
Yes, that's me. I'm Dave.
And I'm Hercules, at your service.
Nice to meet you. So, I've got to ask, what is Stan doing down here instead of up at New Harlech?
Now that's a long story. I mean, you saw the quality of engine who was shedded up at New Harlech in Falkland just now.
Yes, salt of the earth he was.
Let's just say our Stan had an argument with them over one of our ex-locos, sadly not with us anymore.
I'm sorry to hear that, Hercules.
It's alright, she went out on her own terms, so we only have the utmost respect for her.
What a brave lady!
Indeed. Stan is currently in training to take her place as leader of the branch line fleet.
How well is that going?
Various degrees of success. He seems popular with all of them but Shaw. Shaw is a special case.
Do tell.
It's a long story. As Hercules proceeded to fill Dave in on the politics of the railway, Stan was making good time with his heavy train. He was soon skirting alongside the River Stowe on the final approach to Stowmouth. He could see a large liner ship, the SS Samarinia, flagship of the Samarinian Lines Shipping Company, waiting at the dock. Even from this distance, it towered on the horizon, an imposing mark of the island's maritime history. He coasted through the town and was soon descending into the harbour station. Shaw was again waiting at the station with the luggage train, waiting for it to be filled with the outgoing passengers' luggage. Hi, Shaw. Hello, Stan. Are you enjoying your job? It's certainly different. Must be nice to have something extra to do, right? Yeah, it is. I reckon Lord Stavel chose the right engine for the job. You deserve something like this, Shaw. You think? You're a motivated engine. You need to be given jobs like this from time to time. I just want to be useful, Stan. I can't go back to the coalfields. I can't have the same fate as Bride. I know, you're much safer than you think you are, Shaw. Stan was about to leave for the sheds when Shaw stopped him. Stan? Yes, Shaw? I'm sorry I said you hated me. It's alright, mate. Don't worry about it. Stan disappeared back along the line, looking forward to speaking to Dave again. Meanwhile, at New Harlech... I have never been so insulted in my entire life!
Yeah, well, maybe it's about time, you lunatic.
I knew you'd be trouble when you were friendly with Stan at Retford.
And you can shut up too, you weirdo.
And there's why.
I'm off to Retford or whatever it's called. I can't believe this place.
You can't go anywhere. You're based here.
Get fucked.
Dave blasted out of the shed and headed for Radford Junction. He arrived to find Max and Hardwick chatting. So, once again, I managed to cut some time off my run to Redwick. I even managed a new personal record up their incline.
Impressive. I'm not one for breaking records. You know that.
Oh yeah, but you don't need to worry about that. I think you take the longest trains on and off the island. At least the heaviest.
Is that because the wagons are full of the dense brains of the engines up at New Harlech? I take it your first impressions of that lot up there were not overwhelmingly positive? If I spend another minute up there, I'll go mad. So about the same as the rest of us. Wait. 48440? What a coinkydink. What? Well, Stan is 45440 and you're 48440. Yeah, and? Hasn't anyone ever picked up on that?
I mean, I thought about it, yeah.
What are the chances?
Just wait till you meet Ben the Panier.
Prego.
Stan reversed into the shed, interrupting their conversation. Oh, thank God you're here. I was worried I'd have to go back to New Harlech to speak to you.
Haha, yeah, about that. I may have burnt that bridge already, little brother.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, one of my quickest bridge burning acts.
Impressive stuff.
I can't help it if they're a pair of brain-dead morons.
A pair? There's more than two.
I've only seen two of them, though. Falkland and that pompous Seaforth idiot.
Well, you have the joys of Francesco to deal with soon, then.
I look forward to it.
As it turns out, Dave didn't have long to wait, as into the station arrived Frank.
Hey you, 45101, you're in the wrong shed.
Shut up.
But that's a western shed, you don't want to be in there.
It's better than sleeping in the same shed as you and the other two. They could make a bowl of rice pudding sound intelligent.
Oh no, not another one.
Open your eyes and get out of that shed while you still can, young'un.
And why would I want to do that?
Oh, good. He's too far gone as well.
Excuse me, I have my priorities straight, thank you.
Stan, why does he sound like he's upset all the time?
Haunted by the ghosts of his past, Dave.
I don't have any ghosts in my past, what do you want about?
See, Dave? Denial.
Happens to the best of us, Stan.
Oh god, it's like twins.
You better get used to it. I'm here to stay.
Fine. Stay up here with this lot and go completely round the bend.
I will.
Frank departed, leaving the others laughing heartily. Man, I've missed this, Dave.
Me too, bro. Me too.
So, Hardwick, Max, you should probably know that Dave and I knew each other back in the LMS days, when we were both a lot younger, and a lot stupider.
Yeah. Remember when you coupled that Scotch Express to the coal train?
I did nothing of the sort.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I coupled the coal train to the Scotch Express.
Princess Louise has never forgiven you.
It was an honest mistake. I liked it when she was angry anyway.
Still, you made Jeremy's day. Don't think he'd ever been to Scotland before.
Did he find his way back?
Fuck knows.
So, come on. I'm sure you've got some tales to tell from the S&D for me.
Well, as I said, Arthur says hi. And speaking of Arthur, actually, he and I were double-heading the Pines Express a few months back.
The engines chatted
And Ed and
merrily
Sid
for the rest of
decided
the
to block
evening,
railway attempt.
sharing stories from their Big 4 days, catching Dave up on the Midland situation on the island, and generally giving him a new Wessex History 101. They were all happy to welcome such a useful member of the fleet to the railway, and he'd definitely be needed in the months to come.